Hello everyone, Intuitive Edge here again. I'd like to take a look at the month of December. I modified the four corner spread a little bit and we're going to do it a little bit differently. But I'm going to look at the basic three components: political, societal, and financial. And then I'm going to be looking at what are we releasing, what are we gaining, and what will be the ultimate outcome at the end of the year. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to set this aside. I'll shuffle up, be right back, and we'll get started. All right, so we'll cut the deck. So the first we're going to be looking at is political. What's going to be going on politically? Okay, so we have the Six of Swords. This is a card of like having to move away from something or move on from something. There's something about getting tangled up and having to push through and branch out into something different. Let's see what crosses that. First, I got to put out these three. Okay. All right. So what crosses the political is an ending. So there's going to be some sort of ending, something that's coming to an end, and it's causing a kind of a detour or a sadness or having to move on from something. But our ending is on the reversal, which tells me that it could be an ending, but also a new beginning. Like, so it's actually, when the Ten of Swords is reversed, it can actually be positive in some respects, depending on the context of what the reading is. But I sometimes see that as like, yes, something is ending, but it may give way for something else better to come through. So, and the same with this card. The Six of Swords is about having to move on, kind of a, take your losses and redirect. So an ending, but a good ending, politically. So probably all of the saga that we've been witness to over the last several months, politically, there's some things that are probably going to come to an end. But keep in mind that not all endings are bad. So it may actually turn around and be a good thing. Societal, we have the Seven of Swords. I think in society we're having to learn how we relate with each other and how our words affect other people and affect our own outcome, our own self-talk. And this is like needing to be careful with perceptions, with how we react in the world. And it's crossed by this the strong Queen of Pentacles. So I think we may be coming to be more mindful of our interactions with each other. There may be some shifting in terms of people's perceptions as to what's going on. Could be related to political, but there's people, as long as we can keep an open mind and recognize that some things can't just all be done by pushing your own will and your own way through. It's like we all have to kind of work together and be mindful of other people. I think there may be some dealing with that, of being mindful about how we react and what we are paying attention to that kind of gets us caught up or off center. What triggers, I think, is probably a good word there. Now, this is interesting. On the financial, we've got the High Priestess crossed by Justice. And the High Priestess here is reversed, which can me, I'm seeing like not being willing to look at the truth, being I feel like a little bit of the market volatility. um I think there's been a lot of tweaking probably by the Fed with interest rates and that kind of thing. um and not everything is a hard line. Sometimes you have to go with the flow a little more and not just be, this is what we're doing. You have to kind of, I'm just getting the impression of needing to gauge it based on what's happening in the markets currently. And it's almost like there's a faction that wants to just kind of dictate or be kind of a more of a stern, heavy-handed approach to balancing out the financials in the market. And it's going to take some wisdom to really get to the heart and to look deeper into what is really going on. A lot of what we see on the surface maybe isn't the exact truth of what is really happening underneath. But we're crossed by the Justice card. And for that is interesting because justice, of course, meaning justice, meaning balance and fairness, especially upright. Now, I know it's not upright facing the camera, but as this spread is, it's facing upright. So it's bringing things into a positive balance. We may see some fluctuations. I want to say more related to the Fed doing things with the rates, maybe, or it just feels like it's not quite what we see is not really the truth. So so I don't know if we're not really seeing the whole picture with regard to the financial markets. But the justice on top of that feels like that things are going to start to kind of balance out, like the truth will start to kind of balance out the markets a little bit. Now, whether that means a little dip, whether that means the market kind of starts to reflect more of the truth, that is possibility. So we'll see. This card represents what are we releasing, what are we letting go. This feels like severing ties with something or someone. I kind of feel it could be, I think it's related to several things, but I think it is possibly related to the migrant situation at the southern border. This feels like something like a cutting or a letting go or a severing of, I don't know if that means that the border will be closed. Like if Trump's going to throw that gauntlet down, President Trump. But there's some sort of severing of ties. And I think it's related to the migrant caravan. I'd see people being turned away. It also is going to cause a lot of chatter, a lot of people talking, I think it's going to be talked about a lot in December. But I see like President Trump taking a hard stand. We could see the border close. That's possible. I just see that, like, taking a hard stand, and like that I see like this separation or cutting or severing ties. So we'll see. What are we gaining? What's gaining for us? This card brings a lot of ingenuity and motivation. This has kind of a nice, good energy with it. I feel it's kind of relating back to the political. So people may see what happens with in the political realm, and it may spur some people into action, want to be motivated. It may bring out people's passions to get creative and enterprising. I see some people feeling better or taking heart. And again, I feel it relating back to the political. I think it's going to cause some people to feel good about themselves and feel good about the prospect of the future. It's going to have a positive impact and make people feel like they can make a difference. But feeling hopeful and being spurred to action, it's always a good thing. Okay, last card, we're going to look at the outcome. Kind of see, so we have the card of having blinders on and not wanting to see things as they are. It's a card of not wanting to look squarely at reality. It can mean in some circumstances as if you're coming into an acceptance, accepting what is, and accepting your weaknesses and your strengths. Self-acceptance. I think there may be some things that are hard to look at or hard to understand based on current knowledge. And the problem that a lot of humans face is that we judge things in our surroundings based on what we know and understand. And sometimes we don't have the full picture. Sometimes we don't have all the pieces of the puzzle to make the puzzle make sense and to complete the picture. And so a lot of us, I mean, myself included, we all do this, but we base our world off of what we know and what we see. And it may not be completely 100% the truth, but it's what we know and it's what we believe. And so we have a lot of judgments based on incomplete information. And I think this is like taking the blinder off, being willing to accept that we don't maybe have all the pieces of the puzzle, we don't see everything, and to know that there are some things that are beyond our scope of understanding. That's why it's always important to stay open-minded. You never know what will come that may change your opinion or change your mind. A lot of people, they don't want their mind changed. They want to stay in their little bubble and be proved right. And that's something that humans do too, is based on our own information, we make the world around us fit into what we know. And it should be the opposite. It should be what we know needs to fit into the greater scheme of things, into the broader scheme of things. All right. Okay, last card, bottom card, Queen of Wands. That's a nice card. I think that toward the end of the year, people are going to be feeling a little bit better about things in general. And I think that there's some things that will be bearing fruit. I think we're going to see some results finally. I think a lot of us have been kind of in limbo, and we're going to kind of see things kind of come around and actually have results this time. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what comes about. And these are my thoughts. I appreciate you stopping by my channel. Hope you like it. If you do, leave a like. I will make more videos, and we'll see you next time. I hope you're doing well. Bye-bye.